u/whyyoubigmad askReddit. Would you be in favor of removing one nation under beep from the Pledge of Allegiance? And why or why not? This is the placeholder intro file. Can be easily swapped. Yes, it wasn't there at the start either. Edit. Adding citation to make it clearer. Greater than on June 14, 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower signed a bill to insert the phrase, under beep, into the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance that children recited every morning in school. Previously, the pledge, originally written in 1892, had contained no reference to religion. Edit 3. Removed my rant. I'm a pastor, so I would say it should absolutely be removed. Forcing your religion on someone never leaves a person with a positive feeling towards that religion. If Christians want people to have authentic experiences with their religion, we need to allow for authentic encounters rather than gross forced ones. You end up with Christian nationalism and not Christianity. Besides, early church Christians chose execution rather than pledging alliance to an empire. And now we're supposedly so for it. Some churches do it on the regular. Straight up heresy. The Pledge of Allegiance itself concerns me far more than the religious bit. It should not be in the Pledge of Allegiance or on the currency. I'd be in favor of removing the entire Pledge of Allegiance. To quote the late great Robin Williams, under Canada, above Mexico. The whole pledge is beep, creepy and weird beep. That line kind of ruins whole, indivisible, vibe the rest of the pledge has. SEPERATECHURCHANDSTATE. Yes, because no one should force you to believe in any religion. And it is violating the First Amendment because Congress shall make no law respecting an of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise of. Also, with what's been going on recently, people are very concerned with Christian nationalism. So yeah, what a karma bait question. You're on Reddit, of course you know what the answer is going to be. Free karma. Wait, I thought the US were a secular country? Do you mean there are lots of Americans criticizing Islamic countries when they have added, relatively recently, a thing that is very similar, just a different religion? I'm really at a loss here. I'd be for removing the pledge entirely. It's such a weird tradition. Aside from the beep part, which I think is immoral, it feels like some kind of bizarre brainwashing ritual I was forced to endure for years in elementary school. There's no need for any mention of beep anywhere. Not on our money, not in any state-funded building. Nowhere. Take that beep to church. Sure. But I think it would be better if we just didn't make kids say it. How about removing the pledge? Pledging allegiance to a flag is some culty beep. The entire Pledge of Allegiance should be removed. There's no reason to cut out parts of it when the entire thing is flawed. Absolutely. Can we stop singing the national anthem before every beep sporting event too? I'd be in favor of removing it. Personally, I don't think it should have ever been there. Keeping separation of church and state in close reference. I've never seen where it was necessary anyway. For a free country to require allegiance just doesn't sound right. Yes, because under beep is only there because of Billy Graham. He talked Eisenhower into courting the evangelical vote. So now we have that, and in beep we trust on our money. Yes, remove it. We are not a nation under beep. As beep does not exist, and to say we're one nation under beep implies a single beep leaving out cultures that believe in several gods. I'm down with doing away with the pledge, personally. It doesn't hurt my feelings if it's there or not, same with money. There's no beep here, so remove it. We're not one nation under anything either. Yes, it's a disgrace on our nation. I'm in favor of it. I believe in beep, but I also respect, and expect, the separation of church and state. Yes, it's exclusionary. How can you be one nation when immediately alienating everyone who isn't Christian? But that's the dog whistle, isn't it? Remove the pledge altogether. We don't need to waste our time indoctrinating kids with mindless American exceptionalism. It would be better if we spent those 60 seconds and gave monthly lessons on how we beep over blacks. Or how we beep over other countries. Or how our legal system beep you over if you aren't wealthy. How about we just remove it altogether? It's weird as beep. Even when I was a third grade teacher I never said it. Nor forced the kids to say it. They all did out of habit. But I always said to myself if they asked me if they had to I'd allow them to sit quietly. I'd be fine with removing the Pledge of Allegiance altogether. It's weird and gross. The pledge of one of those things that seems normal as a kid. But in retrospect it feels like some North Korea beep. Absolutely. Beep has nothing to do with America. There shouldn't be a fascist beep pledge at all. Remove it. First Amendment forbids it. Teacher here. It's weird to me that we make kids do this at all. Remove the people who put it in there while you're at it. I'll be in favor of saying it all when we actually get to a place where there's liberty and justice. For all. Beep the Pledge of Allegiance in general. If America is really the greatest country on earth, then surely we can be secure enough in that fact to not force our children to commit their dedication to it every morning. Yeah, we could say, under Canada, instead. Yes, because it was not a part of the original. Not to mention this is not a Christian nation regardless of what Fox News says. In favor of removal, it excludes atheists, polytheism, agnostics, and pretty much anyone not the flavor of the hour religiously. Our country was founded on freedom of, and by extension, from, religion. We should not have an exclusivity in our pledge, especially one added later specifically to promote xenophobia and prejudice among our peoples. The original from 1892 said, "One nation indivisible." The lacking sense of irony to literally divide the phrase by inserting, "under God," in 1954 is just absurd. Shame on 'em for doing it. It should be removed. Of course, a large portion of the country will feel that it's more important that we say, "under God," than that we remain, one nation indivisible. Shame on them. Only one Western nation has had a similar pledge in 200 years. I'll give you one guess which one it was. And I'll give you one clue. It was not France, Denmark, Poland, Switzerland or Austria, nor was it anyone in the Balkans. In British Isles, none of the Nordic, not Soviet Russia, nor Italy. Let's just remove the whole thing. It's weird as beep to demand that kids pledge allegiance to their country. It's unsettling to me that this part was added as the United States was never intended on being a religious country. IMO. This fringes church and state. Yes, the original pledge was created in 1892. No mention of beep. It wasn't until 1954 that, "under God," was added. Link. Yes, it wasn't there to begin with, and it doesn't mean anything. I'm an atheist, but the "under God" part is irrelevant to me. I am against coercive pledges. Altogether, Pledge of Allegiance is beep AF anyway. Full abolition, especially our crooked beep country. Why do we need a pledge at all? I already pay the Republic taxes. I think I've proven enough allegiance. I decided after the events of the last 6 years that I no longer stand for, nor recite, the pledge, until this nation truly has liberty and justice for all. I'm opting out. I would be in favor of a brand new, less flag-centric, pledge of united honor to the Constitution, not allegiance. To be honest, it's all very antiquated and Boy Scouty. Favor. I don't care what beep you worship. I don't want them in my life and I don't want them shoved down my throat. If you believe in Yahweh Sabi, Lord of Armies, good for you. There is room for other myths. 2. Your beep is no more special than the rest. I'd change it to, one nation underdog. Can we just get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance? Super beep to ask children to make a pledge to something they neither understand or chose. Why do we pledge allegiance to a government that doesn't care about us? Friend, I'm in favor of removing the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, separate church and state. Yes, and take, in beep we trust, off the money as well. I would be in favor of removing the Pledge of Allegiance. No hesitation and take out, in beep we trust, off the currency too. Remove it. Beep attempt to indoctrinate Americans against the Red Menace, while completely ignoring separation of church and state. I'd be in favor of removing the Pledge of Allegiance. Get rid of the pledge entirely, smiley face. I feel stronger about removing the Pledge of Allegiance altogether than removing one line. I haven't needed to know the pledge since middle school. Why do we have the Pledge of Allegiance in the first place? There should be no Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, because it wasn't in there until 1954. Of course it should be removed. It's a vestige of a past generation. And it does more harm than good. I'd be in favor of getting rid of the entire beep cult chant. It was invented to sell flags FFS. I favor removing the pledge. Because it's false. We are not a nation under beep. Nor are we the land of the free. Sure, we have more areas of freedom. But this hasn't been the land of the free in centuries. Land of the free, on stolen land. What a joke. One nation under beep. Who's beep? White Jesus beep. Indigenous creator beep. What about the gods of the Asians? African American, Norse? Whose beep are we all uniting under? It makes no sense, especially when it's in the same narrative line about America being a melting beep. It just doesn't make sense at all. This country is just one bad, lying joke after another. Fight me, IDC. I'm indigenous, and y'all are on my lawn, saying it's yours. I respect those in our military service and veterans. Most of it's personal, but a lot of it does have to do with how the government blatantly doesn't care about those who have served and those in service now. That's the extent of my patriotism. It should be simplified to, I pledge allegiance to liberty and justice for all. It's shockingly unconstitutional. That it's being kept is absurd. Of course it should be removed. We shouldn't have children chanting subservience to religion as a daily part of schooling. Throw out the whole thing. Why are we pledging allegiance to a beep flag beep? That's weird nationalistic booble gobble beep. Yes, I want conservatives to lose their minds. As it wasn't in the initial song and only added in the 50s as some America good commies bad thing. Absolutely. Also it's weird AF anyway. As long as we're making wishes, I'd prefer we didn't do the pledge at all in schools. This is the placeholder outro file. Congrats. You made it through the entire video. This segment is supposed to fill 20 to 30 seconds. So I'll keep talking a bit. Hope you enjoyed and don't forget to hit the like button, ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. Any improvement ideas? Write us at autogenlabs@gmail.com or leave a comment. Have a great day.